Hey guys, we're here. I'm not bothering with the webcam because I don't give a shit. I'm not a YouTube creator or whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna show how to use my updated spreadsheet. There's not a lot to explain anymore, so this shouldn't take too long. Um, okay, so with the template, a lot of basically to recap, in case you haven't watched the other videos, if it's orange, it's a calculated field. You shouldn't be manually changing it. Um, the red basically means you don't have enough for what you need. The green means, well, you're good. It's a stoplight analogy. And then if you see tan, that's something you do change. So this is, if you want to like also track um, shards you need to farm and that sort of thing, just to make sure that it's not going to be greater than the estimated days of complete farm down here. A lot of stuff on the right, just because again, you might not have watched the previous videos, and I don't want to make you watch like 4 old videos just to get up to speed. These are basically going to just be all your settings and in these columns here. 345, 395, that's basically, I mean, if you're correcting all the refreshes, you shouldn't have to change this. The only thing you might change is how much fleet energy you're devoting to farms per day, how much normal energy, and how many cantina refreshes a week you're doing, because that's going to be different for everyone. Again, these are orange, don't touch those are calculations. Monthly shock pods from TB, I don't even think I've updated this for coming back uh, to Prime, so it doesn't make a big difference. I wouldn't worry about it. And we're also assuming 8 raids a month. Obviously, when the new raid hits, you might have to update these fields, is what it is. For TB and TW, same thing. Like, so these are just all settings. If you get injectors from Conquest, you can put that here too. This is very important. How many salt battles? Like, if you can do 6 challenge tier 1 per month or whatever, you're going to want to update these because that will very much heavily influence the farm. All of the relic mats, this is going to be basically what you get from Conquest, which is the one value here, and then TB is, oh, I'm sorry, TB is this value times 2, because we're running vote twice a month, and then plus whatever value you get from Conquest. So I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. The GAC currency per season, the rest of this is assuming a 50-50 win rate. Good luck getting more than that. But the GAC currency does depend on what division you're in, so that you'll want to update that. The rest of these, yeah, whatever. Change them if you want. I don't really care. Anywho, oh, and the Zeta worksheet. So now what's different is now all this stuff could be calculated fields. I haven't finished all of this, and honestly, I have never come up with Mach 7 shield generators being a bottleneck, for example. So I may update that at some point. So if you see it's orange in a new version and template, there you go. Anyways, um, this stuff you can change. You can just manually enter it if you want. Blue, this basically means that the app script I created for this will go through and automatically calculate this. The reason it's not just orange is because orange is a formula. Like if you type something in, you're going to break it. Here, the app script is figuring it out automatically, but you could put a value in here manually if you wanted, and it's not going to break anything. So that's why I distinguished the 2 colors that way. And some of this stuff I did intentionally leave as manual entry because you may or may not want to use Mark II currency on stuff like Mark 12 armor. Mark 3 relic mats, we're all going to be buying different stuff. And then for the Get 2, for the Kairos and the injectors and the Get 3, I mean, everyone's different. You may be saving for Malevolence and Negotiator, you may be using Get 3 on shards, I don't know. So you can manually adjust that based on what your preferences are, but it's not calculating it automatically for you for that reason. Okay, so I think that should give us enough context to go through with an example. So you don't need to use hot utils. It's just going to be more accurate if you do, because hot utils can look at what gear you have, whether it's locked down on a character or not. If you don't have hot utils, this website, SWGOH events, will still be able to look at what you have locked down in characters, and it will still be able to compute what gear you need. You just need to register and sign in with your Google account and give it your ally code. So it doesn't matter if you have hot utils or not, you can still use this. Okay, so let's use, I guess I'll just use Java as an example. I'm working on Leia, but whatever. I've been testing Leia all day, so maybe I'll find some sort of bug I can fix later. Okay. Well, yeah, I don't think we're gonna want that to be part of the farm. Okay, so as an example, we are going to do the Java farm with, and you also want to always make sure that you add the GL or the capstone unit as well, because, well, obviously this won't be accurate otherwise. So this tells you all what you actually need, right? But before, with my spreadsheet, you'd have to go through and like manually fill out the spreadsheet, and that just sucks. It really sucks. So now, download CSV. Yeah, of course it downloaded into a different, but in here. That is also not where I want to open it. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Part of the issue is I don't know if on my desktop I have something that can. Yeah. Alright, well, I don't actually have numbers or something set up, so that's fun. Yeah. Alright, well, anyways, I'll just run through it, whatever. So, the intent here is if you have Excel or you have numbers, you have something that will allow you to view the CSV, not VS Code, because obviously that's not going to separate into the cells. But the point is, if you make a copy, which you can do by going to File and then make a copy, you go to the Gear tab, and this is basically that CSV. You're just copying and pasting the data. So when you want to put in a new gear list, you can just hit this handy button, it'll wipe it, and then you'll go to the CSV, and I mean, it is in VS Code, but whatever, you can kind of get the idea. Don't copy the headers, I already have them there obviously, just copy the actual data, so basically from line 2 on downwards, and you're just going to copy it in here. So this is what it would look like if you copied and pasted it in. So basically this allows you to quickly like wipe it, download it, and copy paste it. It could get weird if you don't do copy paste special values, just because it might copy some weird formatting or whatever. So when you do paste, you can do paste special and you can do values only. That's what I would recommend. Or the shortcut is just Control-Shift-V. I'm lazy, so I just do Control-Shift-V. So yeah, fine. So we'll just go through the example of Leia, since that's what I've got the data loaded in for. Okay, so you've got this, you got all this data. Cool. So this is what we need. So pretend we downloaded the CSV and we cleared it, we pasted it in, and this is our new template, right? Okay, so we're going to duplicate it because you never want to edit the template directly. You want to make a copy of it. So we'll just name this test farm. I know it's for Leia, but whatever. Okay, so now I'm not going to, but you would normally, update like the normal farm, and like this is pointed to the normal shard drop rate because it's unaccelerated, and I'm going to be doing 1 node refresh, so you would do ×2. And 2 node refreshes would be ×3, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to do that, but that's what that's for. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of this for now. Don't need that. Okay. So here we've got everything loaded in. And now I have these notes. A lot of these notes were from Darth Liquida's gear farming video. You can keep them, get rid of them, whatever you want. They do have useful info, but I like to declutter, so if I don't need it, like I have enough chromium transistors, I'm going to get rid of that. I don't need to go to keypads or impulse detectors, so I'm going to get rid of that. And then, obviously if you're getting rid of it, then you don't need it here, do you? Okay, cool. So, and a lot of, same thing here, like I'm not going to farm on fleet energy for any of that stuff. And also, I don't need this stuff. We finished that. The idea being, and this is obviously this is part of why you don't edit the template directory, you make a copy, because I like to declutter, so as I don't need something, I'm going to get rid of it, because too much information is often not a good thing, and I want to focus on what I still need as far as farms goes. Now, here's a really cool thing. So, obviously to start like this is kind of crazy, right? But now this is from scratch. So we just copied the CSV and we pasted it in. We haven't really done much, right? Okay. So I hit the recalculate gear and it's going to start calculating how many days it thinks it's going to take for the farm. It gets even better because once it fine tunes the estimated days to complete farm based on what the bottleneck is. It's going to go through the Mark III Carbonis, Hall projectors, all the stuff in blue that I showed you, and it's also going to calculate what you need. And then it's going to iteratively do that because, like, as it reduces the estimated days to farm, why the fuck is it? That ain't right. I don't know wait to see if this starts to recover because obviously it should be going in the other direction. Alright. Okay, it seems like it's recovering. Yeah, I'm not re-recording this because I don't give a shit. But the point is that it's, as you see, it's in green because it got it close to the bottleneck. It's figuring out what is the, how many days should the farm take. And then it's calculating like how many carbs you might need to buy with Mark 1 raid currency. And obviously every time you do that, it's going to reduce the bottleneck. So it's recalculating how long the farm should take, because as you reduce all that stuff, it's going to reduce the bottlenecks. So in turn, it's going to have to recalculate, how much of X, Y, or Z do you need. And before, you would kind of have to, a lot of this you'd have to do manually, and you could do it, but it was time consuming, and quite frankly, it was just annoying. So I don't want to do that anymore. So that's basically what this is doing, and now you can see that it's gone through a few iterations, and that's fine because it's going to keep reducing the bottlenecks basically until it no longer can. And I have it checking to see if it's like a delta of 2 or more. It looks like it's kind of caught in a loop here where it can't reduce further, so that's fine. You can also just like manually cancel it and just yeah. It's just kind of in a weird state where it happens to be in between, but that's not a big deal. At the end, if it's something like that and it's obvious that it's done, you can just cancel a script. It's not going to hurt or break anything. And so now you've got everything in the green here. You're good to go, and you didn't really have to do shit. So we can see that we've got our Bonzium wirings. We're farming enough of those that's not bottlenecking us. We got our shock pods. Oh, here it is. I was looking for the shard chop stuff. So we've got all that. So that should be it. And so for like example, see this is what the script calculated. This is how many weapon mods you need to buy to scrap in the bronzium wirings. So we're basically done here. Oh, I deleted those. That's why I can get rid of those. Okay, so, and that's basically it. Now, the only thing I'm curious about is this is what the layer form actually is. I'm not sure why this would be a different result. Maybe I needed to do a refresh. Actually, that's probably exactly it, because I haven't done a refresh on this desktop in a long time, so this is probably old data, because this is what it should be. So obviously, whether you're using hot utils or not, you want to make sure this is refreshed and these numbers are as up to date as possible, because otherwise you can kind of see the results that will be wildly different. And this is kind of what it looked like after I cleaned it up and kind of removed a lot of the stuff I didn't need. So, so like here, this one's saying that you need to buy 75 weapon mods, and you need to buy. So another thing too is because rhodium heat sinks can really be a bottleneck. So I have it also calculating not only how many hollows you need, but how many hollows you would need to also use to scrap into rhodiums. So that's what this 26 is. So we actually don't need that many. For 75 days of farming, we're going to get quite a lot of hollows to convert into rhodiums, but we just need to buy 26 more. That's all. And then we can see we don't need any stun cuffs or stun guns or carbonis or bio implants, so we're kind of good to go. And the cool thing is, when you want to update the list, all you gotta do is click this, reset the gear list, and copy and paste the new CSV that you download, and that's it. You don't have to do shit on that. So that's the new spreadsheet. Hope it helps.